Hello, 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 everybody. I hope everybody is having a great day today. It is Thanksgiving Day here in the United States. It's also just November 25th if you're not in the United States. And thank you for joining me today. Thank you for being part of this weird last minute stream thing I wanted to do. I really appreciate it. Gonna just have 3 more minutes to onboard some more people who are joining. I see some folks are slowly making their way in, and then we can get started, and it's going to be a lot of fun. How's everyone doing today? Meanwhile, I need to fix my display capture to actually show pointer cursor, so give me 1 second. Should be able to see my mouse. Yes, that's going to be very important. I'm going to get us started with first level of the game, get just into that level, and then we can get started. Also going to up that text speed. We're not going to pay attention to the text all too much during this. And please let me know if there's anything that needs to change with the volume. Hello, Vlad. Thank you for joining us. So I'm going to explain just the top level of how to play Sovereignty a little more efficiently than you might initially realize. So the way the game works is you have these units, and these units have different actions, and some units that are bigger have different abilities. For example, this Caffeine Reaper has an ability that when it kills another unit, it heals itself by 1 HP. I'll bring my volume slightly down so I can hear. So your goal is, for this level, to rout the enemy, just defeat all of them, get the coffee empire out of your garden, and have a good time. To do that, you will make tea minions. So you have tea princesses, like by Mudan here, and have actions, including the brew action. And so when you use the brew action, you can make new units that will be able to do more stuff, and that's kind of cool. But in addition to that, have these resource tiles. And if you have a resource tile in your possession, you could also use these to make new units, which is pretty cool. So beyond just that, if a resource tile is unclaimed, right? So these ones, nobody owns them, whereas this one, the Coffee Empire, has it. If it's unclaimed, then there's a boon. The first team to reach this tile will gain resources immediately. Now, this tile give you 2 tea leaves a turn, but if I move by Mudan and land in it, I got the boon out of it, which was immediately 3. So now I have even more resources, and this is kind of the flow of most levels at the very beginning, is try to capture as many of these tiles as you can. Because without them, you can only brew so many units, but with them, you can keep brewing and brewing and brewing. So let's start doing that. Let's start brewing some units. Now, my 2 choices here, this one's disabled, are either the Pipsqueak Scout, which is just a unit with 6 move, or the Tea of War, a unit with 4 move and 2 attack. There's also this fun, neat thing by Mudan has, where it's called a Princess Passive. So the way that works is that if a human tea princess makes a unit, it gives them special abilities. So her special ability that she will give on any of the units she makes makes it so that if they attack a unit with 7 or more max HP, they deal bonus damage. That won't work against this guy, it only has 3 HP, but the Caffeine Reaper has 12. So there's a chance to get a little cool later. First, we need to start capturing these tiles. Here's how I like to play very first level. Make a Tea of War. I move it towards the enemy, and indeed, I will attack the enemy. Now, I attack for 2, it attacks for 2. It's an even trade. These are pretty even units. The next thing I like to do, I go back to buy Mudan. And because I'm on a tile, I could either click this button or hit the tab key. And now I can brew from the tile directly, not from the princess. So we're not going to get those special buffs that you saw earlier, but still brew some things. So let's brew a Tea of War, claim this tile. And this is sort of resource chaining. You're sort of hopping from tile to tile to tile. So we have a decision to make. We could either try to go for this tile, which will give us blueberries now, or we go for this tile. And if we go for this tile, we might be able to go for this tile. And if we go for this tile, go for this tile. And so that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a Pipsqueak Scout, and I have exactly enough move, 6 tiles apart, to get this top corner. That gives me even more resources. I brew again. I make another Scout. Now I have blueberries. Now we can make the Sacrificial Tea, which, when it dies, deals damage to the opponent. Deals 3 damage, which is quite a lot, actually. But before we do that, excuse me, I'm going to actually just make another Tea of War. I'm going to move in, and I'm going to take that tile. And now I'm going to do something kind of fun. Making the Sacrificial Tea. But rather than attack this cluster, I'm going to attack this one. And the reason is I want to get to this tile. So you may wonder, why did I attack this unit with this unit? Right? Because if this unit attacks this, when this attacks back, it dies and both of these units are gone. Well, the answer is, I don't want this unit to die right now. It has 1 attack, this has 1 HP, I've cleared the path, and this unit is still alive. I can use it to start attacking these guys next turn. So from here, I have not brewed from this tile yet. I'm going to make another Tea of War. I'm going to get that blueberry. Now I have even more resources to make more units. And I'm going to move that up into position. And that is actually every single action you can take on turn 1. I believe that's the most efficient way you can play the first turn of this game. If you have a different way of doing it that you think is more efficient, I would absolutely love to see it. And so we're going to go through this tutorialization as the Coffee Empire takes its turn. And you will see why I wanted to keep these sacrificial teas alive. So just from turn 1, we've killed 3 of the enemies. That's pretty cool. I made some tea to join me this stream. Very good. Been a while since I've made this particular tea as well. So we still have a resource tile we haven't claimed. So let's just go and get that in our possession. Excellent. Now, this unit is going to die no matter what it attacks. It only has 1 HP. These guys do 2 damage. This guy does 4. Now, it might not make sense to have this guy attack Caffeine Reaper, because the Caffeine Reaper heals after it gets a kill. But this has Bai Mudan's passive. Deal 4 damage to targets with 7 or greater max HP. Let's think about the math here. I'm going to attack it. It's going to deal 4 damage from this ability. Then it's going to deal 2 damage. This will kill it, and it will heal 1 damage. So that's effectively 5 damage on a 12 HP unit. And that's pretty cool. So now, let's move Bai Mudan in position here. It has 7 HP. Now, unfortunately, the range of the Sacrificial Tea can only walk 3 tiles, so Bai Mudan can't make a Sacrificial Tea to finish the job here. But I can make one with another tile, certainly. And now it has exactly 4 HP. So what we can do is use Mudan to make actually a T of 4. It's going to do the 4 bonus damage, and that's going to kill it immediately. This unit is still alive to use next turn. And that's pretty cool. And we can make another sacrificial tea, which will immediately clear that enemy out of the way. Now we'll just keep making units, because that's the name of the game. You always want to keep making units. And I might as well get some damage in, even though this unit's probably going to die. And while I can make more units and move things up, and I will move things up just to get them into the front lines, there's not so much more I can do here beyond making scouts, so I shall end my turn. Now, we don't need to capture this resource tile. I'm going to anyway. And I'm going to attack here. This guy up. That attack. And then with this last unit, I wish I could have brought Mudan just close enough to do the last hit. That's always fun. But no worries. 3 turns, you win the battle. Pretty easy first level. So Mudan here, we're just skipping through the plot elements. I really want to showcase more of the gameplay, but, you know, let me know if you want to see more of the story. Actually, I will showcase some of the story here because we have new tea princesses, but we're going to go through it pretty quickly. So here's Silver Needle. These are the white tea princesses. Every tea princess is based on an actual drink, an actual type of tea. Mudan is kind of like the posh, sort of a little elitist. Silver Needle's more grounded. Shomei here is the sleepy one. In fact, she's mentioning how she's the sleepy one. And they're all teasing Mudan for having such a wide vocabulary. They're trying to figure out what was going on this morning. Mudan was attacked in her garden. Shomei and Silver Needle were attacked in their homes. But before they can get too much further in this conversation, this happens. Now here's a fun little feature. You can actually hide that dialogue and just look at the key art whenever you'd like. You can do it with a hotkey by hitting H, or you could click this little eye icon here. This is actually a feature that I saw mostly in visual novels. In Renpai-based visual novels, hitting the H key just sort of hides the HUD. I thought that was just kind of a cool little feature, so we brought it into this game for some reason. But now we have an emergency with these big new units. Let's look at the map. Let's figure out what's going on. So you should always survey the map before you do anything. If you just make your decisions from this view, you're going to miss out on important information. There's a lot of enemies back here is the important information you're missing out on. And there are new enemies. What do they do? Let's take a look. You have the hyperactive roast. Now these guys have 4 HP, 4 move, and 1 attack. When combat starts, they do bonus damage, 1 bonus damage. Before they even attack, they do another bonus damage. And at the end of combat, they do another bonus damage. So effectively, they're doing 4 bonus damage, or 4 total damage. That's pretty devastating. Look at these guys. They have 15 HP and 10 attack. Your tea princesses have 9 HP. So if one of these guys hits you, it's over. Luckily, they only have 1 move, so they're very slow. But importantly, they have this interesting blitz effect on them, that before they attack anything, they deal 5 damage to themselves. So technically, if you go with a war of attrition approach, and you just keep throwing even the weakest units at it, they will eventually die. There's a new resource on this map, raspberry. We don't have any to begin with, and we only have 1 blueberry. We need to capture these tiles to get the boons. We need to get the per turn benefits, and Here's the kind of cool thing with this map. Every single tile here can be captured turn 1, and I would like to show you how to do that. So let's start by just moving our tea princesses into position. So that's a pretty basic move. Let's get this tile. So rather than having Shomei make her special brew, and I'll talk about that passive soon, I'm just going to have the tile itself make a Pipsqueak Scout. So now we have 17 tea leaves with a +6 per turn. That's pretty great. We got 9 blueberries up from 1, and now we have a +4 per turn. Now I'm going to not use the princesses here. I'm going to just use the basic tile to capture these resources, which now we're at 17 +8 and 13 +6. But we still don't have raspberries. The raspberries are gated behind these guys, and we want them. Right? This is a boon of 4 raspberries immediately and a +2 per turn. So before we talk about the passives here, let's just start with the princess we are familiar with. Resource tiles do not have to be occupied to have their structural brew be used, and we will see that. We actually saw a little bit of it last level, but we will see that soon. One thing you can always do is if you hit space, you jump between units that can brew, and if you do control space, it's between tiles that can brew. So if you want to be very fast with your gameplay, you can do that as well. I'm going to have Mudan make sacrificial tea. Let's think about the damage output here. This unit has more than 7 max HP, so I'm going to do 5 bonus damage. Then I will do 1 damage to it. It's going to try to attack me and deal 5 damage to itself. Then I will die and do 3 damage to it. How much damage is that? Let's find out. It's a lot. So this guy has 2 HP now. So no matter what, it's going to do 5 damage to itself. But even kind of more hilariously, we could just make a Tea of War and immediately finish the job. Instead, I'm going to make a Sacrificial Tea, because it's going to hurt itself. I'm going to claim that tile. We have raspberries now. And importantly, we also have a Sacrificial Tea to use later. Now, I want to get this tile still. I also want to get this tile, and kind of have a predicament here. The Scout can reach both, but if the Scout goes here, there's no way I can get this tile this turn. Whereas I still have all of this that I could use to break the bottom line, and I will. So I'm just going to move this tile. Let's look at our raspberry units that we have access to now, because they're very interesting. The Tortoise Chaw, when it is hit by another unit, it deals 2 damage to that unit. Excuse me. If we think about this unit, it's hitting you 4 times. So every time it hits you, you're reflecting damage back at it. That's pretty cool. So now we have an answer to this, but there's an even better unit here. Costs a lot of resources, but it's the Spearheaded Force. When it gets hit by something, it deals 3 damage to all units around it that are enemies. So what you want to do with this one is you want it to be surrounded. You want things to come up to it. You want it to be surrounded. That's when it operates best. So as the name sort of suggests, you want to throw that into the front line. And hopefully we're going to get a lot of units that will come towards this one and start soaking damage from it. Meanwhile, we have to deal with down here. What is Silver Needle's passive? Her units just get sort of flat stat gain. 2 extra attack, 2 extra move, but at the expense of their max HP. So you could see some of the HP here is marked in red, but for units that already had only 1 HP, there's not actually a change. So the best option here is to do the most damage to these guys. So I would like to make a Tea of War, which now has 6 move, and her scouts actually are crazy. And you could see that it's 1 out of 1, and this is an indicator that it lost some max HP. When you lose max HP, it can't be recovered. That's why we show it differently from how a damaged unit is. You could see the visual distinction there. And we're going to go in, do 4. But now this guy has 6 HP. But that's okay. Make another sacrificial tea to do 1 damage, and it hurts itself for 5, and we get the raspberry tile. So we got all of these resource tiles turn 1. And we're doing quite well, actually. And we could still make units. So let's make units. Let's make a tortoise jaw. And let's just send that up and hope things run into it and fight it and die as a result of fighting it. The only unit that hasn't gone yet is Shomei. And this is the only tile that hasn't brewed. I don't actually want to brew this tile, so I'll sleep it. No sources with actions to select. Shomei's ability is a healing ability. When a unit she makes lands in a tile, all of the friendly units surrounding that unit in the tile heal by 3 HP. So the best unit to make with her typically is the Scout. And the reason why the Scout is the Scout has 6 moves. So bring it up, see the healing effect there. The game gives you an explanation about how you could decommission units. But let's just see what happens. Now enemies are surrounding, and this is very cool when they attack the spearheaded forts. Now this is great. This is why we had the sacrificial tea there. Right there. Notice how it sort of cleared multiple things around it. That's the power of the spearheaded force. And we're in a very good position this next turn here. It's going to be really funny. You have to think a bit about who we want to attack. This guy's going to reflect a lot of damage at me, which is going to reflect onto these. And so I actually want to attack the hyperactive roast. Right, that got rid of quite a lot, and hopefully more things will surround me soon. Now, the tortoise jaw is probably going to die, but I believe I can take out the hyperactive roast. And getting rid of these guys will be pretty important. 7. Oh, this is great, actually. Because I do 2 attack here, this has 7 HP. You just need to get it down to 5 HP. It's done. Excellent. Now, this is great. This is so cool. So, we've kind of set up something really amazing here, in that we have the healer in the right position to actually heal this unit. So I think this unit actually will live now if I do this, which is excellent. And that's gone now. That feels great. Let's look at what we want to do about these guys. They're kind of annoying. 7 HP, okay. Fantastic. We set that up really well. And we have our princesses. We have these units. They've already attacked, but we can sort of start moving them forward. Just to clear the path so that the princesses can bring things in. We don't have to be too afraid. They only move 1. So I'd like to bring my princesses all forward. And I'm going to decommission this unit. It's not very useful, really. All right, great. This is really cool. Working really well. So there's so many different avenues of fighting. There's a fight happening down here. There's a fight happening up there, but we still have these guys at full HP. And we can kind of do exactly what we did before, except this time we have stronger units with higher HP that can actually take a big hit. I still don't want them to take the big hit, but they can take a big hit. So let's think about this. I will do 2 attack. My blitz will do another 4. That's 6. If I can get this damage down, right? If I can get it low enough that 6 attack will bring it below 5 HP or equal to, then I won't take any damage, excuse me, on my big unit. So I'm going to throw Sacrificial Tea at it. And actually 6 will just kill it outright, so that's cool. Great, no damage at all, and this guy is good to go next turn to move forward. We can do basically the same strategy down here, but with Silver Needle. So we only need 6. And remember, she gives base attack, but we don't have the resources anymore because I was a little greedy. That's okay though. We still have good options here. This will do 3, 2, 5. That won't quite be enough. Actually, no, it will be. Anything here will be enough. In fact, I don't want to bring this in because we have the higher attack. I'm just going to one-shot this unit, and maybe this guy will attack us. We do need to deal with this guy. It has 6 attack, or 6 HP, but we can deal it with just a basic Tea of War. The threat is gone. Let us make another healer just to have them. Those are always handy. Now, what do we want to do up here? There's not much. We can make a Tea of War. We can start, like, whittling things down. Like, if you never know what to do in this game, just start making basic units and just start attacking stuff. Right? That usually will work for you. I'm going to bring quite a bit of units forward. That's probably enough. We can end the turn. Let's see what happens. We have a nice surround here. That's clearing a lot of enemies. That's great. That's taking damage. That's gone. That's taking the damage. That's gone. All right. What's the best type of surround I can do with this unit? Well, we have 2 Reapers, which is pretty fun. That's a pretty good surround. But we have some injured units. Now, your units can move between units. So actually, you could move here, or we could just move here. Get that healing. These guys are almost fully healed. I would love to get one of these guys here, and we have an option for that. I believe I want to do this. I believe this is the correct decision. I will do 3 damage to all of this. This will get rid of the hyperactive roast. Or I keep the hyperactive roast, and when it attacks me next turn, I reflect more damage onto the Caffeine Reaper. Actually, let's do that. Let's just start attacking many things as we can. Get as much damage in as we can. That actually just outright killed the Reaper, so that's really fun. Can we heal this other unit? I don't believe we currently can, and Shomei is so far behind. Might not be able to get that healer. But do that. That's always great. Shomei is very powerful at healing. Let's bring this in. Now this unit probably will die. There's kind of an interesting War of Attrition thing you could do here. This does heal by 1, but I do 2 damage, so effectively I'm doing 1 damage to just sort of sacrifice it. And progress is progress, so we take that. I don't have enough the sacrificial tea to actually do anything, but we'll move it up. Start moving everybody up. I'm getting rid of that scout, kind of useless. All warriors to the battlefield. I'll make another healer. She already brewed. They're good. Make just another one of you. Go in. Let's see, no more units with actions. Do we have any tiles we want to brew from? Probably not. Like, there's only 4 enemies left, and I'm pretty sure we have this in the bag. Hello there, Yellow Ring. Have a great Thanksgiving. Thanks for stopping by, albeit briefly. I have nothing else to do today right now, so I'm doing this. Oh, the damage reflection here. The damage right there is great. Setting up such wonderful combos here. Mudan's passive is going to hit that. Oh, it was so strong I didn't even get the damage reflect, which is funny. Got another Mudan passive here that I don't want to go to waste. This will win. How much HP do you have? Okay, well, we win now because of this. And that's it. That's level 2. Yeah. Vlad has beaten this game. He was one of our backers on the Kickstarter. Also, longtime friend. But yeah, it is smart to keep units on tiles to protect them, unless you get in a position where nothing can actually reach it. Alright, so just to summarize the story here. They're happy about what happened, but they want to know what is actually going on. Also, hello. Thank you for joining us. They decide that they're going to go to the border with the Coffee Empire, figure out what actually is going on. Is this a rogue force? Is this an organized campaign? Do they need to have some sort of diplomatic resolution? Or is this a war? They're not sure yet. So, also, the thing I was saying about using the H key, the sort of visual novel style to hide the HUD, does work here as well if you want to just see the full character art. I do this all the time because it's very pretty. Level 3, things get a little different now. It's going to get a little fun. Welcome to the Alkaloid River, which is still... I love naming things in this game. It's just... I could come up with the silliest names for things. The Alkaloid River is probably one of the silliest names I've come up with. There's the border. There's some new coffee units here. We'll take a look at that soon. One of our scouts kind of managed to make it into the... Dug up an alkaloid in Animal Crossing. That's funny. So they're not sure how the scout got even into the Coffee Empire. Because this is Coffee Empire territory. But there's this unit they've never seen before. So, as always, we want to survey the battlefield. Let's look at these new units. The Wake Up Brew. It has a new action, healing. It can directly heal another unit. Okay. They're on this bridge with these guys. Everything else we recognize except this one. And you could use the scroll wheel to, like, get close. This little guy is Kopicham. And Kopicham has 50 HP. And crazy abilities. Super crazy abilities. When it gets a kill, it applies a status effect to itself, called Count. When it reaches Count 1 and Count 4, as it says, upgrade mysteriously. So, Count is actually a very late-game mechanic. This is your first time encountering it, but you won't really see it again until, like, near the end of the game. It's a very complicated mechanic, but this is technically your first introduction to it. It was also one of the earliest mechanics we decided needed to be in the game. Like, super early on in development, me and my, the lead designer, we were talking and we're like, there's going to be counting units and it's going to be nuts and the game's going to be like open way up and it's going to be awesome. But we didn't actually like get to implementing that until like the final levels because it's just so complicated of a mechanic. But you will see how it works very soon. But 50 HP, that's a lot to think about. There's a new resource, vanilla. That presumably means there are new brews that you can make. We also see coffee has these tiles, but none of the other tiles. So we want to try to get these for the boon, if we can. It's going to be difficult. We have very limited resources here. 3 tea leaf, 2 raspberry. That's it. The other thing I forgot to show of Kopicham, it has 12 movement. So, be careful. But only 3 attack right now. Anyway. We have tiles immediately in front of us. Claim those tiles, just to get started. You always want to claim tiles. Okay, this is a little bit better, but now we took away the blueberry. The sacrificial tea niche that you have fallen into is no longer going to apply here. But I'd like to just look at the normal units that you can brew this level, before we do anything. Remedial Chai is a basic healing unit, and it heals for 3 HP. It actually has an attack, and it's a Reaper effect, so when it kills something, it heals itself by 1 HP, which is hilarious. It has 3 HP. why does it even have this ability? My designer and I looked at this way later, like before the game came out, and we were like, why did we give it this ability? What was the point of that? It's kind of fun. It's kind of flavorful. It's not very useful. Of course, you know about the spearheaded force. And now we have the enlightened warrior. Excuse me. And this guy has some new things to it. When it's the end of your turn, it's going to heal itself by 3 HP. So it's self-healing itself. It has some sustain to it. And similar to the Tortoise Jaw, this has the exact same effect as the Tortoise Jaw, really. If it gets hit, it deals damage back. And it has 12 HP. These two are very strong, very good units. So, we want to break through this line somehow. Your best bet is to try to concentrate your efforts, more than to try to distribute them. So, I do some kind of weird things here, and I've seen many different approaches, different streamers and whatnot, and they're all valid. But your goal is to break through this, try to get to these resources as quickly as you can. You need blueberries, you need more raspberries and vanilla, you need more tea leaves, and you'll see why this guy. So let's try to make something happen. Start by making, basically the only good offensive option we have is the Tortoise Jaw. I bring it in. I do with the attack. Now that's pretty devastating a hit because of the lower HP. The lower max HP. More damage, but it's a bit devastating. Next, do it again. Now we're out of raspberry. And rather than go straight ahead, I actually like to do this. And the reason I like to do this is to take advantage of the remedial chai. Because it's made by Shomei, right? So we get this immediate passive. Now, we have to heal this one or it dies, right? This does 4 attack. This has 4 HP. So I like to heal it. This won't die next turn. This will, no matter what I do. So I might as well, I can attack, but it's not gonna do anything. Well, actually, there's one thing in that if I attack and I get it out of the way, I could make a Tea of War and then do a trade, but I actually want to save my resources just a little bit. They're so limited. This is going to be the end of my turn. Here's Kopi-chan. And it has upgraded because it got count 1. A little art for it. It literally absorbed the energy of the Tea minion. It's actually, as you can see, part Tea now. So they start talking about how is this possible? Is there a tea princess allied with the coffee empire that allowed them to gain access to their tea magics, right? So part of the lore here is the tea princesses have tea magics, which allow them to manipulate tea leaves to create tea minions, and the coffee empire, or coffee regents, excuse me, have coffee magics, which allow them to manipulate the coffee bean to make coffee minions. Ate is an herbal tea princess, excuse me, who is allied with the coffee empire as we've established, but they don't think it's her because herbal teas are not technically real teas and they're a little bit elitist about it. Shomei just hates everybody. They decide they need to fight this, and now things are happening. That's funny, Kitsunabe. Also, welcome. Kitsunabe made a unit in this game, which unfortunately I don't think we're going to see this stream unless I play really, really fast. But it's a really cool unit. It was based on the Hong Pao, which I did not pronounce correctly. It's based on a rock tea that is very expensive, but also very good. All right, let's talk about what we want to do here. I have 3 attack. It has 3 HP. I win. I win, just outright. We're able to clear a path here. And rather than attack this guy. I want to actually get rid of this. So the reason is I can make Scout. Do not underestimate your scouts, by the way. They're very good. And from making a scout, I will make another scout. To make another scout. To make another scout. To make... Well, I'm going to actually just make a tortoise chop because I want something offensive. Unfortunately, I can't actually brew anything else. But I can move this guy up. So I will do that. To try to get it a little closer to the front lines. A little secret here. These guys are actually stationary. They won't move. It's not entirely obvious, so I don't blame you if you didn't realize that. But technically speaking, you are safe to do this. Oh, God. You got some damage in, but that was rough. And the healers just bring it back almost to full HP. That's fun. We got 2 damage in. Okay. With my scouts... Well, actually, I do want to attack here. Can I get a healer through? That would be nice. Well, it's going to die if I attack this guy no matter what. There's always a question on, do I attack this guy or do I attack healer? But I want to get that tile regardless, so I will start throwing things at the brutes. And I will just sort of sneak past what's going on here. Excuse me. I want to save up. I want to get the Enlightened work. I want to save up. I will have enough next turn. As long as I don't lose this raspberry, I will have enough next turn. But just in case, I don't want to risk it. So I'm not going to make raspberry units now. Anything that attacks this will kill it. So we could be a little bit safe. We have plenty of blueberry to work with. Let's try to clear the field. We should look at Kobi-chan because it upgraded. It has new abilities. When it lands in a new tile, it's going to deal damage. And of course, when it gets a kill. So what that essentially means is you want to sort of surround it. You want to deny it movement. Also, it has a nice fun animation with the tea leaf and the coffee beans sort of floating around it like a halo. 5, 6. Anything with 6 move that she makes can hit this guy. This has 6 move. Do it! Great. Great, great, great. Anything with 4 move here. Now, I only have 2 tea leaves left, so I have to decide if I actually want to do that. I have an idea. I want to clear the path. I want to clear the path so Shomei can get in there, and I want her to make a healer. And I want her healer to just be, like, ready. Now, poor Bai Mudan can't brew anything this turn. You can move. You can move. We're going to lose that tile. Like, that's just going to happen, but it's okay. We have berries. Enemies can't brew yet. They will next level. Not this level. I have too many scouts, so I'm going to decommission this one. Okay. Ow. It's surrounded by healers. This is the worst. It's full health now. Okay. So, we need to deal with this, because this is getting silly. We need to deal with these guys, though, as well, because they're preventing me from really popping off. But in the interest of... Let's move guys away. I want to move... Oh, the other thing I forgot to mention, its movement greatly went down after the upgrade, so it's safe to start moving princesses in. And these guys can just be on the bridge forever. Our objective here is just to defeat the boss here. So, how do we want to do this? Want to get rid of this guy. It's going to be difficult to do a surround if I have a unit that can just instantly destroy me. Be a bit careful. Six, 8. I need to do 3 damage to it in one go. Okay. It is safe to make one of these guys now. We will make the Enlightened Warrior. It will do enough damage that it won't take any from here. That's great. We can start moving some things in. I'm gonna get the scout. Not healing anything yet, but I'm gonna get it ready. I want to do some damage to this one. Oh. I need another scout now. That sucks. Because I could claim that tile and brew from it. Not the most efficient gameplay I've had. In the meanwhile, we don't actually want to make too many of these sacrificial units because this thing gets stronger the more kills it gets. So I will make another healer, though. I'll just keep it ready. I'm curious what the AI is going to even try to do with this position, but we can end our turn. Oh, yep. And it got to the final form. But this is actually okay, because... Well, we need to get rid of these guys, first off. So let's just start that. Now has 70 HP, and we're doing the hard fight. Want to start getting a bit of a surround here. Does a lot of damage. Or still don't have enough resources because I'm so limited on my raspberries. Have healers. This guy is in the way. Please leave. I need to heal my units. Thank you. Yeah, get the healing in. I don't want these guys to be killed by this one, because now it has new abilities. When it kills something, it's going to heal 10 HP. So these guys need to get out of here and go away. Do not go after that. I do need a wall here of some sort. 6 HP. I have 7 HP. I might actually have to make this. Oh, I don't have enough movement. Okay, something bad's going to happen soon. That's okay. Make another healer. Now, it looks perilous. It looks like we're in danger, but we're actually not in as much danger as it may appear. I will end the turn here. Oh, it's great that that moved. Okay, it's actually fantastic that that moved. So, I like to do a little bit of what I call the healer dance. Which is... Get rid of this one. Great, we're in a good position. Make another. All right, we're having a strong surround here. Here's the healer dance. Healer here. A healer here. Healer here. And just keep doing that like every turn. Just keep rotating them, and you're gonna get quite a lot of damage in. This guy should go away. This guy's actually useless now at this point as well, so that guy will go away. Might as well send this one on a journey to attack the Wake Up Brew. Why not? We're having fun. It's fun. Make another healer. Get everyone nice and healed up, nice and cozy. Save by Mudan for next turn. There's still a chance it, like, leaves, but I kind of doubt it. I believe it wants to go for the princesses, so let's end the turn. And now we're in a great position. Because we just have to keep doing the healer dance. If you're at full health, just attack. This needs to be healed. And let's have Bai Mudan make a unit. Doesn't get to make units much nowadays. Units have a move of... They'd have a move of 3, so... Good position to have that in. This guy's kind of blocking my way. Think about it. Do not the best healer dance, but we're going to start with that. This will get that 4 bonus damage, which is also valuable. Now we do healer dancing. Everyone get healed. Everyone get healed. They can make another healer. Everyone get healed. Okay, we're doing a great job here. I'll take that out for the sake of it. I believe this is one, basically. Not this turn, or not from this attack, but the next set of attacks should do it. So the guys who are fully healed, let's go for it first. Soak in the damage. And this is the kind of cool thing. We made a lot of mistakes this level, but we can always recover. And that's it. That's the level. We never got that resource. It just decided to keep that blueberry forever. Not that it was a problem. It would have been more of a problem if it was the raspberry. Quick plot recap. They decide that it is an active war, so they need to build fortifications and they need to summon their allies to help them in the war. They are going to build a fort on the land they just conquered, basically, and it shall be called Fort Steep. Bai Mudan suggests to get some of the more respected tea princesses with them, including Earl Grey. Shomei just kind of hates everybody right now. Don't worry, she'll open up. This leads to a really cool and different part of the game now. This is Fort Steep. Welcome to Fort Steep. It has probably some of my favorite music in the game also. It's a very long music track. It's like a 3-minute track that loops. Here, have princesses talk to each other. Sometimes they get mail. There's a library where you could learn about in-game lore and stuff. There's this kitchen area, which is really cool. And there's the war table, which is how you start new levels. And our first conversation here is between these two. It's Earl Grey. We don't need to go into the specifics of her abilities yet, but she is. That's cool. So much that you can do here. Let's start by going to the library. And there are some books that you will unlock. It will be marked in your UI. Oh, excuse me. When you have a new book, you're always able to replay past conversations you have. There's a map. This is the known world map of the game currently. It updates as you play, as you get more levels. So here's the initial map of the world, and This is what it is now. You can see this is sort of the land where that fight occurred. There's the river that you passed. Little lore details like that. There's a compendium where you could look up like a bunch of units in the game. Not going to do any of that right now, though. We are going to make something hopefully delicious. So there's a little mini game here, and I am curious if anybody here has played this little VN called a Tavern Tea or a Tavern of Tea, Tea Tavern, something like that. I'm butchering the name. They had this little like tea brewing mini game in it. And I've seen like other VNs sort of inspired by that type of mechanic. And it's just such a fun little thing you can do. So let's brew some things. So we haven't discovered all the units that are accessible to us, but here are all the resources, some of which we don't have access to yet. That's kind of cool, right? You're going to get so much more as you play. So let's start by brewing with just a tea leaf. So we have our Pipsqueak Scout. We have our Tea of War. Yes. Let's start with just a blueberry. And so what I recommend when you get here is always do sort of every combination whenever a new thing is available. So we have our sacrificial tea, but 1 out of 2. It's another tea here. The winged tea. And this is a little like bumblebee berry, a bumbleberry. There we go. That's the word. This one, look at the attack here. It's a bit different, right? You look at the attack here, it's just sword. This one, swords 2 circle. It's a ranged unit. Last Meal at Cafe More, yeah, that one, my friend made that game. That was one of the ones inspired by that sort of mechanic. You and I played it on stream ages ago at this point. I really like that title. So if anybody's in chat and wants a fun kind of Halloween VN to go through, that's the one. Yeah, so this has ranged attack, which is new. It also has another ability. When it hits a target, the targets adjacent to that target take damage. So you actually have really cool ranged attacks here. This is like a really great unit. I love the Winged Tea. If you want more ranged attacks, put this in your loadout. Try Raspberry. Only the Tortoise Chaw, so that's the only unit in the game that uses just Raspberry. Try Vanilla. So, you've seen the Remedial Chai. Somehow it developed an insatiable need to stab its enemies. Yes, it has a knife. But there's another unit. The Regenerative Chai. Now this one is really cool. This is a really good unit. When it heals another unit, it gives them Regen 3. And Regen is a status effect that at the end of the turn, they will heal 2 HP. So, even though this heals for 3, and this heals for 1, this is sort of like 3 over time. Well, it's actually more than 3 over time, because it's Regen 3. So, you get to make kind of an interesting decision here when you're playing. Do you want the immediate health? Right? Do you want that big 3 HP heal? Or do you want something to sort of like sustain itself over time? If things have regen on it, you don't need a healer right next to it. So let's start making some combinations of these ingredients. Seen the Spearheaded Force? Very vanilla. And not every combination will lead to a unique unit. And when that happens, you will create the Sludge Tea. This poor thing. This poor thing is very useless, but it's cute. You have not done Raspberry Vanilla. That is just the Enlightened Warrior. But what about all 3? And this makes Stoma, which has 35 HP, free move, to attack. A crazy amount of ingredients are necessary to make it. Depending on perspective, Sludge Tea could be mad or sad. You are right. And this has a lot of effects. It has 4 different prickly effects. It has an annex effect. So whenever it moves, in the tile it used to be in, it makes a new unit. When it is hit, deal 2 damage to the opponents, heal your adjacent allies, give them regen, do poison to the enemy. It does a lot. This is a powerhouse of a unit. But the unit makes the mini stoma. Take a look at that. And there it is. Little mini stoma. And when it dies, it poison to adjacent enemies and regen to adjacent allies. Yeah, so internally we call these the tier 3 units. They're basically the game-changing units. They are fundamentally busted. That's why they cost a lot of resources. It's always kind of worth saving up to try to make them. In almost every case, they're worth making. And every tier 3 unit, at least T unit, starts with this sentence in their description, what is T? So we've discovered all of the things we can do here, so we can leave. Yeah, fun. I mean, yeah, it's fun to have something kind of game breaking, right? It's always entertaining. Let's have some conversations. We are going to talk with Earl Grey. And there she is with her umbrella. And I'm going to actually skip through these. As fun as they are, I want to get to the levels. So the way it works is these are optional dialogues. Anything with an asterisk is required. It was flashing earlier to let you know you have to see this before you can do a level. You can, of course, go back and have characters talk with one another in this sort of chill environment. But let's go to War Room. And here we are with Barista Canyon as the next level. And we've unlocked all of the units that we can use. Could, of course, customize it. We haven't unlocked everything. Some units are only unlocked after you get to a certain level. So I know what these 2 units are. This one you'll see soon. This one is the pumpkin unit from the end of the game in the Halloween update, so you're not going to see this for a while. But yeah, we also keep track of your turn count in case you want to flex on your friends. Every level saves its own loadout individually, so don't have to worry about that. But here's the recommended loadout. I basically only play with the recommended loadout because I came up with the recommendations, I guess. So it works for me. If it doesn't work for you, change it. Let's fight. Let's do the next level. It's been about an hour of stream. We still have an hour and a half left. We're making pretty good progress in this game. This is a very important change in how the gameplay works. So I'm actually going to go through the dialogue a bit. It tells you some things. So there are these big units in this canyon. Shomei is suggesting that we expend one of our brews to see what will happen if we try to encroach upon them. So we do, and it immediately gets blasted, right? But Shomei makes an observation. They got damaged by it. So if you need to War of Attrition it, just do exactly what you just saw there. Send in, your sacrificial teas, your tortoise chaws into the battlefield, into the canyon, until eventually they will die. Mudan doesn't really like that strategy. Silver Needle thinks, hey, there's this sort of canyon pass where we could just bypass these guys entirely. How about we just, go through that? Right? We may not need to head down the canyon at all. Mudan thinks that if you had an exceptionally strong brew, maybe a stoma, you'd be able to secure the canyon. So This is also the first level that the enemy will start brewing from tiles, and that now, their economy is also exposed, so you have some knowledge about what's going on here. So, as always, survey the map first. Don't rush into things. Make sure you understand what's going on. Here's that big enemy, the coffee cake, with a sentinel ability. It's a ranged unit. It has a huge range, and if it sees you, it will blast you for 4 damage. If this one sees you, it also blasts you for 4 damage. So if you send anything down in here, you're going to get blasted for 8 damage, which is not fun. So it's not enough to kill a T-Princess, but you still shouldn't do it. This is a new unit. The Mocha Vanguard, or the Macha Vanguard. I guess if we want to go a little more British with that, the Macha Vanguard. I've been saying it Macha recently. I've been watching a lot of British coffee YouTubers. They all say Macha. So, this guy has block. Excuse me. Any damage dealt to it will just be consumed by this stack of block. So, you're going to have to hit it multiple times. And it has this annoying ability that it will regain block. So, they're a pretty good defensive unit, and they're at 5 HP. You have to think about how you want to handle them. We have our ninjas here, the Hyperactive Roast, and we have Dopios, which are a new unit. So, Espresso has 3 HP and 3 move and 2 attack, and a Doppio kind of doubles the HP and doubles the attack. Doubling the move would have been busted, right? It's 2 shots instead of 1 shot. That kind of makes sense, right? I like the way they look, personally. They're also a little more jittery than these guys, as you can see. Sometimes it's fun to just kind of look at their animations a bit. Fun fact, the very first unit I animated, because I did the animations, is the coffee cake. Back when I was deciding was it actually worth doing animations for these units. Previously, they were just static images. And after doing it for the coffee cake and seeing that little bounce, I was like, yup, I have to do this with every single unit in the game. And frankly, it was worth it. I mean, it's just kind of fun to see them move, and they're all in their own unique ways. Gives them a lot of character. You have a couple of units to start with, but there's a canyon signpost. It appears as if a coffee regent put the signpost up. Yunyang. Warning. Entry through the canyon will activate the sentries. Either disable them, or take the side path if you want to visit me. Lovingly, Yunyang. That's interesting. That's a name we haven't heard before. Who could that be? Well, we'll find out. But for that, we've surveyed the battlefield, and we want resource tiles. And the only resource tiles that are not claimed are these guys. And 3 vanilla, another 3 vanilla boost, 3 blueberry. You have no vanilla right now. We want to get these. But they're actually kind of distant, so you have to think a little carefully. And I will be honest, I mess this up all the time. But let's see what we want to do. So Silver Needle suggested taking this canyon path. So how about she leads the charge forward? And it's okay if she soaks up damage. Damage is a resource, or HP is a resource that you can use. So send her forward a bit. Send this guy forward a bit as well. Let's take some damage here. Now, anything she makes will have crazy movement. Now, the question is, can we reach this with a scout? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Unfortunately, no. Intentionally, no. Yeah, we made it so that this with a scout cannot actually scout chain to these. But once you get this, you should be able to. Let's see how I want to do this. We need to take a tile no matter what. Otherwise, we're not going to get these. So, take a tile. Let's take the next tile. I should have made a scout. It's okay. When you mess up, restart the level. Happens all the time. Now we could play that better, right? And that's not a bad strategy if you messed up to restart the level. Because I'm actually going to move Silver Needle here instead. And the reason is I should be able to actually reach this tile now. And can a scout made from here reach this? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. So how many tiles away is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need at least 6 movement, which, you know, the scout or the Tea of War. I'd rather do the Tea of War because I can get rid of this one. Here we go. Things are a lot better now. Make a scout. Take that. Make another scout. Take that. We got the resources. There we go. Now, see? Much better turn 1. And now we have so many resources. The important thing to kind of remember is we want to save for Stoma. So, technically, as long as I don't, like, blow it, we will get Stoma next turn. Which is fantastic. So, what do I want to do now? If I make a Tortoise Chaw, I would be able to deal with this, but then I won't get Stoma next turn. So, what I'm going to do, that. And I still will get Stoma next turn. 5, we'll have, what, 8, 5, and 10. So as long as none of these go below 5, Stoma. But now, I want to show you something kind of cool with Shomei's passive. But first, we're going to make a basic sacrificial tea. Now, we can't make another one of these, but the reason is I'm going to charge that in to do damage to this guy, right? This is Shomei's strategy. Mudan's was make a big unit. So let me show you. With Shomei's brew, we can make a regenerative chai. When it heals a unit, right? Apply regen 3, but check this out. When it lands in a new tile, because Shomei made it, heal a unit. But then that heal will trigger the regen 3, so simply by moving it, I've just given regen 3 to these units. And so this unit, made by Shomei, is now basically one of your best options. The Pipsqueak Scout is very good. If you have the regenerative chai is arguably better. But for now, is there anything else to do? We do need to save tea leaves. It'll cost 4, and I don't want to only make a Stoma. I'd like to make other things as well. We might as well give some more healing, right? Yeah, that huge stacks. And that's the turn. The enemy's moving. They're making stuff. They can't make too much. It's only turn 1. But now we can make a Stoma on turn 2. That's pretty exciting. So, make that Stoma. And, importantly, give that Stoma some regen. Right? We want to make sure this thing can tank some hits. So, give that Stoma more regen. And off you go. So, it makes this mini Stoma, which hilariously is actually kind of useless for now. But, when it dies, check this out, give regen to its allies. So if I move it here and it dies, it gives regen to its allies. So it's not that useless, actually. Let's look at what's going on here. I mean, these guys will die the moment it makes an attack. And we get, I think we can get 1 hit in with the Tea of War. There we go. Now, music has changed. But we can't really make anybody right now. Excuse me. Eventually, we're going to start having Shomei make some healers to go with Silver Needle down the path. But for now, let's aggregate our forces. The scout is basically useless at this point. All right. What's going to happen? More units are being made, but nothing too scary. Now we can choose to keep going forward or choose to attack this, and I think we should attack this. Lots of things just happened. Okay. But this is poison now. So that's great. And these are starting to take damage. It still has the regen on it. Technically, if I don't move, I will start healing, right? So if you get worried about the stoma dying, just like let it heal a bit. In the meanwhile, want to start sending some of our healers away from us. Now Silver Needle can 1, 2, 3, 5. Yes. Silver Needle can start making quick work of these. I'm gonna expect these units to die. I will bring this one closer for healing purposes. We won't get a stoma next turn, which is sad, but we can make some blueberry sacrificial tea this time. Let's get a bit more damage in. And if you haven't seen, the cross marks, the hatch marks here, are indications of where the danger is. But we're making steady progress, and that's great. Sure, might as well give you a heal. That's our turn. I have 23 of 35 HP here. Like, these do a lot of damage every time I move, so I actually want to play it a bit safe. Excuse me. And we're gonna get another stoma next turn anyway. Let's look at this this path here. First, we're all healed now, and you all have regen. That's great. Second, get rid of this one, and I will need you to this and die. It's a good unit for you to make. Like, I want to make these big ones, but I want to save for stoma also. So, making a sacrificial tea is probably the best option currently available to me. And start getting these ones ready. Let's see. Get another generative chai. We're going to use you soon. Next turn when we get the other stoma. Let's see. Make. Yeah, sure. 2, that'll be 1. That's exactly enough for stoma. This is taking some serious hits, and the turn. Things are coming in. Things are dying as a result. Okay, now I want to move forward. Now we can make something quite lovely. Another one. And we do our little dance. Get our little heals in. And do our little dance. Get our heals in. And we send it on its way. Have this one die just to get rid of it. Now we have 2 stomas. And let's see, more Tea of Wars. Really, these guys are actually kind of useless if you think about it, because they're too slow. So I'm just actually going to demotion all of them. They can still get healing, though. That's fine. And can't brew anything out of tea leaves. The poison killed it. That's great. And this is going to be a fun thing with Stoma, because it will do damage to the Macha Vanguard after it moves, only because the coffee cake has hit it. And so now, this is open to getting rocked. Now, this Stoma is in danger. Luckily, we have another Stoma coming. And next turn, we're going to get another Stoma anyway. So this is great. I might want to delay that next turn and just actually get a Tortoise Jaw here. I think it would be useful. But first, these will die if I use them, so let's not use them yet. What can we make? Can we make something good? Can we make something fun? Make more sacrificial teas. Because we're not getting the Stoma next turn anyway, we've decided against it to make that sacrificial. But they are really taking some damage, so things are starting to look pretty good. And let's end our turn. That's gone. Hopefully nobody takes that space, but it's possible. Nobody took the space. Oh my god, I have 1 HP. Well, I'm dead no matter what with this one, but, well, actually, I'm not. Because I can heal my adjacent allies if I willingly take the hit. Now I have 3 HP. Which I'm basically still dead anyway. These guys do more damage than that. But, you know, it was a worthy endeavor. Let's try... And I actually blocked the brute point, but that doesn't matter because these are here. Let's try just getting the brute out of the way. Now, unfortunately, we will probably lose that tile. Okay, make more blueberries. Don't make another blueberry. We need to save that for Stoma next turn. But let's look at what's going on here. Thereof. This will die as a result. Thereof. Make me another. So Silver Needle's strategy is actually working quite well here. Just very tight corridors. And kind of the neat thing about this level, if you really go all in with all 3 strategies, you'll sort of meet back up at around the same time. That is the turn for me. It's also one of the few levels where the princesses are kind of really far behind from the combat. Everything is just taking hits. Oh, that's a new unit. I'm gonna die before I could read the tooltip on it. But, alas. Okay. How do we want to play this? Unfortunately, anything I brew other than a Stoma. But while it is nice to make it from a princess, you don't actually have to. So why not make another Stoma? Right? Why not force some magic here? Unfortunately, this tile is still in their possession. Okay, the army is here. Also, unfortunately, this tile is still in their possession, but this is where a Silver Needle Scout come in. Now, we can do some stuff. Don't have much we can do because we used a lot of it, but can at least start preempting this guy. Not much else I can do, I believe. Sure, bring these guys. They haven't actually done anything. I've been pretty good about not needing them. Yeah, let's end our turn. Stomas are here to ruin your day, Coffee Empire. All right, great, great. That was a worthwhile trade. I wish I could make one of these. This is coffee beans. So actually, here's what I'm going to do. Moving this one forward because it makes the mini stoma to take that tile. To move this one forward, the mini stoma here dies, but now I have that tile. Now we start doing some damage. This one's not even a threat anymore, so we can ignore it. Start doing some more damage. Great. That 4 attack is pretty strong. Excuse me. So, something about that. Now this mini stoma already moved, so we'll just kind of keep it there. Silver Needle has not made a unit yet. That tile is secured. I'm just gonna just keep these here. They're not doing anything. Still want to keep fighting this guy if we can. Sacrificial tea is always a good option. Can't make another one of those, but we can make a tortoise chaw. Really just push forward against it. Great. This is still dangerous to cross, so we end our turn. Oh, that like AoE healing and damage is so nice. Oh, they brood. Will we see this unit? Nope, it just dies before I can read its tooltip. Great, great, great. So, the victory condition is to capture these tiles, not to kill everything. But to do that, we need to start killing some things. Excuse me. Now, luckily, units are pretty good at just capturing stuff. I believe we win this turn. So all we need is a scout, and that's it. And the coffee cakes are still alive. All right, that's level 4. A lot longer, but it is the 4th white tea level. So back in Fort Steep, we didn't really get any new resources, so it's not worth looking at the kitchen. But if you wanted to just see the progress of the war here, you know, this was what it was before, and we just claimed a little bit. There's the Barista Canyon. So there's your comparison points right there. From just sort of outside the canyon to a little bit inside. That's where you're fighting. That's kind of cool. Skipping the dialogues again, as fun as they are, just to focus on gameplay here. But how's everyone doing so far? I hope you're enjoying the stream. And I'll tell you what, I would love to get a little bit more water, so I might BRB myself, just briefly, before we dive into this next level. So I shall be right back. And we are back. Hello, I have more water now. Unfortunately, it would take just a little too long to brew some more tea, or dare I say coffee. But I'm back, and I'm with you. So let's talk about this next level before we jump into it. It's very different looking from the outset, right? These are white tea levels, the little white tea cups, white peony flower. This is a green tea level with a very different look, right? So we're getting new princesses here. They are... Oh, excuse me. That was gross. I am sorry that heard that. We have new tea princesses here. We have Genmaicha, Dragonwell. We'll see how they play later, but we only have 4 units here. And really, like, the only thing we can do in addition is bring in a sludge tea, so let's add it to the loadout. But there's not really much else we can throw in this. Very limited, it's just tea leaf rice. So it's also a survive 8 turns, which is a new type of victory condition. Let's fight. Oh, before we do that, I just want to say, if you're ever confused about what to do, there's a little hint button here. You can read through instructions. It's also in the escape settings menu. So if things get a little difficult, you know, don't feel bad about opening that for some help. We try to give pretty vague but detailed instructions on how to go about things. But before that, let us go into Genmaicha's garden. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. So Genmaicha, if you don't know what the actual tea is a Japanese green tea that has puffed rice in it. And it's delicious. It's one of the best teas. But we're in a very dire situation here. The Coffee Empire has presumably crossed Lake Matcha to take over her land, and she doesn't really seem to know why. Here comes Dragonwell, which is a Chinese green tea. Love her design. She's here to try to warn Genmaicha about what was going on. And she's telling her that her reserve army is working to try to keep her safe. 5-8 turns. Dragonwell has a very unique princess passive, so unique that I had to describe it because when I'll just show you. When Dragonwell makes a unit, she gives herself dragon power, a stack of dragon power, which is a counting status effect. So if you remember Kopi-Cham from the 3rd level, it's like that. She's empowering herself. And then what that does is gives her boosted attack and boosted attack range, and attack range can bypass impassable tiles. Now, surveying the battlefield, it looks pretty rough. The enemy has a lot of resources, including some we just haven't seen yet, like sugar and lemon. There's this crazy, over-caffeinated killer. What a name. This eldritch horror of a being. 30 HP, keeps healing itself, heals others. Yikes, it's a big one. Everything else you've seen, though, you know how they behave. So, what if I told you? You can technically get all these resource tiles turn 1, you just have to play very carefully. You can breach through this line. You're not going to hold it, but you can breach through it. So, let me show Dragonwell's ability first. Because her ability only empowers herself and not others, you want to make the lowest cost unit basically in this circumstance because it's not like any of these units have ranged attacks. So a scout or a sludge tea even. I'm going to make a scout. And then just to not have too many of them, I like to move them and decommission. So she has Dragon Power 1. Her attack range has increased. Her attack stat has increased. She can do 3 damage now. We're going to attack this one. And it can't attack back because it doesn't have a ranged attack. That's half HP. Genmaicha. Genmaicha has a unique ability when she brews rice units. So the two rice-based units in the game are the Kunoichi and the T-Shogun. By themselves, kind of bad units, costs a lot of resources, not very good stats. But when Genmaicha makes it, they get this upgraded form and they become crazy good. And that's her princess passive. So she's the only character that gets that with these rice units. But for now, remember the rules. You want to capture resource tiles. And the reason I'm actually not making scouts is I'm going to need things that can attack. I am going to actually make a scout here to take this corner one first. So, two things we're going to do. First, I'm going to put it here. They're going to go into this choke point, but I want to block the choke point. Second, excuse me. This Kunoichi T has 2 move actions and 4 attack. Also has a status called proactive, so if something attacks it, it attacks first. Versus the T-Shogun, which has reactive. It will always attack second, but when it gets hit, it gives itself, it empowers itself with these stacks of stacked, so it gets more attack for the counterattack. It also has Defiant, which is kind of like Pokemon Sturdy. It won't die until it gets to like that 1 HP threshold. So let's make a Kunoichi. Now 4 attack isn't enough to kill a 6 HP unit, but Dragonwell here brought it down to 3 HP. So bada bing, bada bow. It also, when you kill a unit, you leave a totem. That's what Kunoichi T does. So now enemies will attack that instead. We have this tile now. I would like to start chaining to get all of the boons immediately. So we have all the boons now. We are not going to hold this position for long, but we've held the position. This unit's going to die, because it's going to die in like 1 hit, no matter what. So you might as well spend it on something. And I actually don't care about the brutes. They're kind of slow. So I'm going to try to focus my efforts on getting rid of these. Like, we're not going to hold these tiles. But we can certainly do a lot of damage. And the only unit left with anything to do is this totem. We could decommission it. If you decommission, it dies instantly rather than the next turn. But we don't want that. We want things to actually attack it. And that's the turn. There she goes. Like I said, we won't keep it for long, but getting the boon is still very important. Now, our next priority is to plug in these holes. You don't want things to cross these holes. And this is why we started making these units to be useful. So, you know what? I will make the Sludge Tea. There you go. This is a good level for it. Beautiful. 3 attack. Let's check this out. What we can do, make that Kunoichi, kill this unit, which will make a totem, and then move it up, right? This will attack, but Kunoichi always goes first. And Kunoichi has 4 attack. This has 4 HP. That'll put a totem in its place. Then the other enemies will start attacking the totems. Somehow, I don't know how, but somehow, we have this this tile. So let's use it to our advantage. If I get rid of this totem, I'm getting rid of this totem. That shouldn't happen. The other kind of cool thing you can do is you could send in your scouts as sacrifices. That's always kind of a nice strategy. But we have a lot we can work with, so 6 HP. Get out of here. This is done. That's great. I also kind of like sending in distractions to the front line, like, hey, don't go towards Genmaicha, go towards this guy, right? That's kind of always a nice thing to think about. Make more units. Reinforce more area. And I can't make anything other than a scout now. So, yeah, that's our turn, and doing pretty okay, but it's going to get crazier. The combo is paying off here. Wasted their attack. That's wonderful. We still have those tiles for now. Oh god. Okay. Let's see what we can make with this. Excuse me. I want to try to get damage on this, but this will be hard with the Kunoichi. But remember, Kunoichi has 2 moves. Move 1. That'll do 2 damage. Move 2. And there you go. Kunoichi is a very good unit. Next, I want to... Well, the only thing I can hit is the Caffeine Reaper, which is still worthwhile to hit. So let's hit it. 3 HP is always nice. It's down to 9 now. We can still make a unit. And I kind of want to show you the T-Shogun, because I believe the T-Shogun is the right choice here. Because we will just move that in. It will take the hit. It gets strong, and it just destroys it. That attack from Dragonwell still is important, because that was only 10 damage, whereas this gave it that extra 3. Start sacrificing units to break through. Start really trying to reinforce this area. I want to keep it as long as I can. Which might make more sense to keep it as just counterattack only. Technically, I could have killed this if I played that a bit differently. Oh, I could kill this one, though. There we go. I have other units that I think can move. Tech Genmaicha's down here. I can attack. I shouldn't. Okay. So if you do take advantage, you don't need to play like this. You could play this level very defensively and you'll win. But this is sort of the offensive, aggressive approach to this level that I personally am very fond of. Enemy has 120 lemons. Somehow we still are holding this. Let's see what I want to do here. We can easily destroy another Reaper. Now, it still will require that, but that was a very good decision to make. Kunoichi needs to start doing that. That's great. Genmaicha go back to focus on moving in. This guy's kind of scary. Excellent. Let us think about what we want to do here. Now, you could always save this and keep stacking, but I find in this level it's best to spend it immediately. Now, the reason I sacrificed that is so this could go in, kill it, and keep the tile. I don't want the ninjas to get too ninja-y, I guess. Now, we do have a problem in that this is kind of wide open because we're being very aggressive, so I do need to tone it down slightly. So let's just make sure that we're defending our back lines. And I want to protect the samurai a bit, so I'm going to put a scout there. I can technically still move with this unit. That's cool. Yes. That's a move that I would like to make. Here we go. Coffee turn. Yes, it hit the totem. Good, I wanted to waste its attack. Now, we still have Defiant, but the Defiant could be popped off by these ninjas. Oh, there's a new unit here that I would have to show you next turn. Ah, good. Thank you, AI. Unfortunately, I think I die here. Yep. Oh, there they are. Very scary units. So, what is that unit? It's the Bitter Battler. 7 HP. When it gets hit, it gives poison. When it attacks something, it gives poison. It gives a lot of poison. It's very scary. Now, it has exactly 7 HP, which we can use to our advantage, in that Dragonwell can deal 3 HP of damage to it, and a Kunoichi could come in and, like, finish the job, right? And that's kind of the cool thing about it. We can finish this job, though. Now, I don't want to be too aggressive now. This Kunoichi's trapped. Oh, boy. At least I can do that. What do I want to do? I would like a... I want Genmaicha. Make me a Shogun. Now, I need to get 2 damage in, or the Shogun is useful. But now, this is dead. Oh, it's not dead! Oh, no! Well, it will die next turn. So, that's fine. Meanwhile, get that 3 damage in. And we need to start holding the fort a bit, so I will keep a unit on this tile. I need to start flooding the map with units, particularly this top side looks pretty defended. Even scouts are useful here just to, like, block passage. Turn 5 of 8. Now it's getting a little intense. Oh, I wish you attacked the Kunoichi. That's fine. Goodbye, Kunoichi. It's getting very precarious. Oh, God. Well, we have Defiant. Oh, no, it didn't matter. We lost Defiant the last turn. Okay. Take a lot of these little ones to deal with it. But there is an option here. Because I can make... Nope. Did again. I need to hit that key. Make a Kunoichi. Has 4 HP. This will kill it. I can just frontline right now. I can position myself in such a manner as to encourage... How do I still have these tiles? Well, since I do, I need to make a couple decisions here. That's the decision I needed to make. Thank you. Now, if Dragonwell does attack this, I will take damage, but it won't be so much damage that hurt me, but it does open up this possibility, which is great. That does open up. I want to keep the Kunoichi back a little bit. I don't want to get too carried away here. Main thing about this as well. I don't want to get too carried away. I want to bring the Kunoichi back. Yeah. But you could see the advantage of being a bit aggressive here is that a lot of the fighting is getting concentrated here. But it is dangerous because anything that breaks will have kind of open space. So as we're nearing the end of this level, we're trying to shift to a little more defensive of a position. Let's just watch what happens. Okay, we lost these tiles. Excuse me. So, excuse me. Something we can do, because the Kunoichi moves twice, go in, get you out of here. The totem claims the tile, go back. We have to deal with this increasingly dire situation up here. Make another Kunoichi. Has less than 4 HP now. And just go in. Just go in, Scout. I believe in you. Meanwhile, like to encourage more damage on this guy. Actually would be ideal, because then I can get rid of this guy next turn. Get a Scout. Absorb. Keep everybody else defensive. Nice. Most of the enemies there in the back line decided they can't actually do anything useful, which is convenient. But now things are getting scary because there's another unit that they can brew this turn. And that's the big guys. And these guys are scary. Now we have to shift to, like, extreme defensive maneuvers. They also have a very high move. But this is the last turn, so we just have to survive this turn. This is that Kunoichi Dragonwell combo that is so powerful. And the way I'm going to do this is I am going to surround myself. We're going to make sure everything is blocked up and defended, of course. But I am going to surround myself. Units. The cat is screaming at me. She agrees with the strategy. And hopefully that's enough. Because I can't make anything more. It's a scary level. This is a very scary level. But I still don't know if playing aggressively is better than playing defensively, because if you play defensively, basically nothing, you're just surrounded by units all the time. I just find it more fun to play aggressively. But that's it. They did not break the line. Alright. Have another cutscene here of Genmaicha fleeing the battlefield. She learned that a war broke out. She assumes that the White Tea realms are dead. Dragonwell explains the situation, and Genmaicha learns that every other tea princess was told about this war except Genmaicha because she is rice-based, and they sort of view her as lesser as a result of that. And poor Genmaicha has lost basically everything. That's the summary. We can do one more level, I think, today. Ooh. First, we can check... Oh, here's Mint. New character. You'll see her in a bit. We've already discovered everything here, but I might as well show you the rice units up close. Kunoichi. The other upgraded Kunoichi. There's the totem. There's the Shogun. There's the other Shogun. But the fun thing is if you try to make a combination with rice. When will you learn? When will you learn that your actions have consequences? It's fun to bully Genmaicha. So, I'm gonna meet Mint. I'm gonna do the required dialogues here, as shown. Also gonna show you, excuse me, the map. There's a new documents you can read, but the map has shifted a bit. This is Genmaicha's land, which has been conquered. And you can see her land on this map as well. So let's have these two talk with one another. And we'll just go pretty quickly, but here is Mint. She is very fun. She's a very fun person. She's based on Moroccan mint tea, which is basically the tea I had growing up. It's very good tea. We're just going to skip through that. Bai Mudan and Genmaicha are going to have a fight now. Genmaicha is not too happy about the situation. But that leads us to our first letter cutscene, and I won't skip that one, because it looks cool. And it has unique music. Circumstances on the continent have developed not necessarily to our advantage. There was a very specific reason the wording was exactly in that manner, but I'm waiting to see if anybody can figure out why. Prior to your departure from the Tea Realms, you graciously surrendered your remaining territory to me. Did you find myself grateful for what you have done for me? Thus, with as much sorrow as I may muster, I regret to announce that our homeland has been conquered by the Coffee Empire. It is imperative that I state the following with full clarity and honesty. I have done nothing in all my existence to provoke the Coffee Empire. That is true. I love this piece of art also. I have the stomas and the coffee cakes at war. It was brought to my attention via Dragonwell that 1 month ago, without cause, the White Tea Realms crossed the Alkaloid River. So from her perspective, what the White Tea Realms did was unjustifiable. The general trends of the world have turned against our interest. That's another very specifically worded line, very intentionally worded. I like this piece of art as well. The Coffee Empire took reasonable countermeasures by attempting to reclaim their lost land, but in doing so only suffered further defeat. Now, Genmaicha here actually says reasonable countermeasures, so she's actually kind of on the side of the Coffee Empire in terms of what she has learned about this war. Silver Needle is a brilliant tactician. I hold no doubt that the successes of the White Tea Realms can be attributed to her. Having said that, she's not the idol of my ire, nor the harbinger of the calamities I now face. That virtuous honor belongs to the woman who purports herself a pacifist by Mudan. Initiated the invasion into the Coffee Empire, issued public statements calling for the incorporation of the Tea Realms, be it through confederation or otherwise. Confederalism is kind of a topic that comes up a lot in this game. And if you're wondering why, it's because I read the British North America Act and thought it was really fascinating. That's basically it. It's an interesting form of government. Mudan sent written copies of her calls for unification to the Coffee Empire as a threat. The Coffee Empire responded naturally by attacking their new enemy, the totality of the Tea Realms. So from Genmaicha's perspective, the Tea Realms are not actually unifying. They're saying on paper they're unified, but they're not actually unified. They have a lot of biases, including biases against Genmaicha for being, a rice-based tea. Whereas from the Coffee Empire perspective, they're not making any differentiation between the tea princesses. They just see them all as tea princesses. So there's a bit of irony that Genmaicha is sort of pointing out here, that the tea realms are unified in the eyes of the Coffee Empire, but not unified in the eyes of the tea realms. Mudan declared war on my behalf without my consent, and I have suffered greatly for it. The unfortunate circumstances of my birth are justification enough for her to exclude me from any and all correspondence. That's a theme that comes up later, many times later, so you'll see what that means. In war, you must accept all willing allies, but Mudan refuses my aid. To her, the loss of the land you left behind for me means nothing. I have no doubts that when the herbal tea realms are inevitably attacked, she will leave them for dead. So again, Genmaicha is also pointing out that herbal teas aren't really considered actual teas in tea cultures because they're not made with a tea leaf, whereas Genmaicha is made with tea leaves, but it's sort of watered down with puffed rice, so they're viewed as more impure, lesser, non-teas. That's sort of the culture that exists in our real world that is being reflected with some of this characterization. Mudan is dangerous with the reins of government. I beg of you to intervene. If war is inevitable, let us rally behind Dragonwell's leadership instead. So, while she isn't amicable towards the White Tea Realms, she views her green tea compatriots as, genuine allies. There's more fun and potentially heartbreaking dialogue, but we have a level to play. And this is the level we introduce Mint. And Sugar. And some new units, like this ballet tea. So, what's going on with this level? Defeat all resource tiles, or capture all resource tiles and defeat all enemies. Let's try it out. Let's play it. Lots of resources in this one. So here, Mint and Dragonwell. Someone's Discord booped. I don't have Discord sound notifications on. It might have just been me coughing. Unless you're saying someone, pinged me. Which it doesn't look like it. But here, Mint and Dragonwell have never really had a war before. They haven't fought before. They didn't fight in the old war. Oh, you're all good, Kuma. But the way they're approaching this is very, light-hearted, right? They're kind of in the, war is a fun adventure type of old-school mentality. Genmaicha is a more modern interpretation of how war actually should be handled, and believes that they're basically just forced to attack a different area entirely. And the idea of the overall strategy is by forcing them to fight in the Expanse, which is mostly flatlands. The Tea Realms can make gains elsewhere while the Coffee Empire, is occupied with a new threat here. Genmaicha isn't too happy about this. These dumb, daft women are going to get us all killed. That was a fun line to write as well. Let's do what we always do. Survey the battlefield. It's very thin, tall. And actually, this is one of my favorite levels to just, zoom in and just, move forward in. It's just like, it's just fun to sort of soak it all in, you know? They got these little tents. So this was a unit I was trying to show in a previous level, but couldn't. It's the Raspy Juggernaut. So basically, when this unit is hit by something, it gains attack. So it just gets stronger and stronger and stronger. Gotta be careful with it. You have this guy again. You have sugar, new resource. There's a bunch of sugar here, down in the bottom. And then there's no sugar until here. So effectively, your only access to sugar is down here. Let's talk about Mint. Mint is busted. Mint is a very busted character. So whenever she makes a unit, if that unit kills something, they reset all their actions, lose 2 max HP, and effectively get to take another turn. Which is very abusable. But we're gonna show you some fun combos with it. Let's take a look at some of the units we haven't seen. So we've already seen Winged Tea. Ballet Tea is new. Ballet Tea has no attack. But Ballet Tea can move 6 times. 1 tile 6 times. And every time it moves, it gains attack. So it's kind of like a little puzzle, right? You're trying to like move it in just the right way to like land in a specific yeah. I'll show you how to combo with Ballet Tea. Vlad in chat is probably talking about Endosymbiont. Internally, we had a name for the Mint Endosymbiont combo, which was the Nintendo. Nintendo 64. Because you could get the attack up to 64 if you're going like absolutely insane with it. But yeah, let's start thinking about what we want to do here. We need to clear this path. We want to get to this sugar as soon as possible. There's a defensive line, another defensive line. They're just sort of scattered, but they have 32 coffee beans, so they're going to brew quite a lot. And Dragonwell has range, and Genmaicha has her special rice units. And we have these guys to start. And this is kind of the cool thing that... The feeling I wanted to capture in the game is you start with basically not much, and the enemy starts heavily at an advantage against you, and you still win, right? That's the type of feeling... Because that's just so satisfying when you capture that, right? It's a really good feeling when you pull it off. All right, let's do it. So what do we want to do here? So much we could do. I want to move this unit out of my way. Yes. Let me show you. I'm going to do something I've never done. Let's take a look at this. No, it only has 2 HP. It will die, but it will do quite a lot of damage. So I think it's still worth it. I'm going to move Mint up. I've never done this before. It has range, right? It has a ranged attack. And when it attacks, it's going to do damage to these guys. It's going to do how much damage? 2 damage. Or 1 damage. Which is actually perfect. So I'm going to finish the job. It's only for things near me, I guess. No, it's because I died. It's because I died I didn't get the passive. Dang it. It didn't work. It didn't work. Reset. 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 I thought I could be clever. I did say I never tried it before. I wanted to see what would happen. Okay, but regardless, we're going to open in the exact same way. Through a, this is still useful to make. I can do that, and that will do the damage. I have 3 attacks, so I can now clear this path. This guy in to finish the job. I want to bring this one forward. How much do you have? 5? Okay. It is worth... Nope, I've messed up again. I should have made a Tea of War to hit that. Let's play suboptimally. Played not at the most efficiency possible. Now, luckily, it will attack us next turn, and we will have good things happen. It's fun to experiment, though. I'm doing some stuff on this level I've never done before. Feeling brave about it. Okay, they made a lot of stuff, but our path is open if we want it, so we do want it. We have sugar. Gonna just make scout here. Going to immediately get rid of that scout. We have sugar. Things are gonna get kind of fun now. Let's see, 7 HP. Ooh, things are gonna get really fun. This has block, right? If I attack this, I should start popping these stacks. Right? They don't have block anymore. Let's watch what sugar can do for you. A 0 attack, 1 attack, 2 attack, 3, 4, 5. Get out of here! We don't want you here anymore. Done! Mint's passive triggers. I lose 2 max HP, I get to go again. Let's do some counting. 6 will do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Get out of here. Now, I can go up, and I could claim this resource, right? 1, 2, let's think about this. 3, 4, 5. Oh, okay. This is great. Tea of War. Get out of here. Somehow you're still alive. Start making a beeline over there. 5 HP, so we're at 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. We killed 3 kind of big units here. And that is the power of mint. That's the power of sugar and mint. Ballet tea, you want to make it with mint. That was... We cleared such a section here. It's very powerful. So, in the interest of having this unit not die, that... we do want to protect... We don't want to go too far forward yet. Now, let me think about this. I want to do that to get it down to 4 HP so I can make a Kunoichi. Go in and finish the job there. Great. You have 3 attack. This has 7 HP. That's a worthwhile endeavor. Even if it gets stronger, if it attacks the Kunoichi, it will win. Now, the princesses are in a bit of danger, but we have healers that we can make later, and it's not so much danger that I have to immediately react to it. So, I also could technically move the Kunoichi into a slightly more favorable position. I actually want to get rid of this totem because I want enemies to come at the Kunoichi, so we will keep Kunoichi where she is. Oh. Make something. Have anything with 4? Make a healer. You have 4. Get rid of this guy. The healer will do the job. Do it! Oh, wait, no! Okay, we have a problem. Abort, abort. Well, that's okay. I thought it had only 1 HP left. It's fine. Worth it. And end the turn. We're gonna get 6 sugar next turn, and Mint is gonna pop off again. Or actually, maybe I shouldn't have made it. I don't recall. I think I need 6 tea leaves also. But now we have combat happening everywhere. Some dummies are getting hit. Some intended units are getting hit. The enemy is making a lot, but they've really blown through their economy, which is great. I don't want the Kunoichi to hit a 2 HP unit. Right, that's kind of a waste. Let's be bold. I'm gonna attack first. Because I'm gonna start saving up. I'm like dead from the poison. I shouldn't have done that in that I blocked Mint, but I'm pretty sure I can't. Oh, I can. Wrong. Well, we can unblock that pretty easily. Open a path here. There's a path of greatness that exists ahead of us. Yes. Yes. Damage to the surroundings. By 5. Okay. 7. Still kind of scary, but not terrible. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 5. Yep. If it's 5, we're good. We can make that bell AT. We can start dancing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom. This already has 5, so it's 1. Yeah. No matter what, if it's 5. 2, 5. Anything impressive I can do up here? Well, 1, we want to take that tile, for sure. Don't believe I can make a rice unit now. Make a healing unit. And you know what? Yeah, we should. Should make some healing units. These units need some healers. Let's do the remedial chai. I want a big block of healing. That this one does not die immediately. Do I want to hold the tile or attack? I think I want to attack. 5, 6. Oh, I miscounted. That's actually terrible. But I'm aggressive. Start moving princesses forward. And we will see what happens. I shouldn't have moved the unit off of that. I miscounted my count. Technically, Dragonwell could just kill this right now, but she shouldn't. Let's make moves happen. Great. Okay. The immediate threat is gone at least. Should heal if that's dying. A lot of int magic that can happen here. See it. Something needs to pop that shield. What should I make to pop the shield? I want to make sure Mint isn't blocked from Okay, I'm going to do something weird. I know this takes damage, but I need you to move out of the way. Okay. That's what I needed. Something needs to pop this shield. That thing is going to be just a standard Tea of War. Pop the shield and die. Thank you. Now we can have our mint magic. See, it's okay to use your princesses in combat if you have a plan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bye. Okay, this guy's big. Can I make it? 1, 2, 5. Nope, because, well, before I say no, there's an option here. I could technically attack it. I'd lose the unit, but I could make this happen. Cat is clawing onto my chair. So let's make this happen. I think getting rid of these units is going to be very important. 5. Excellent. Now, what do I want to attack? Also, with the extra movement, start moving closer. She's gonna destroy somebody soon. Feel it. These totems are not necessary right now. Do 6 to the Caffeine Reaper, or I can get rid of one of these little grunts. Or I can hold this position, but I will die probably to the Reaper. So, what is the best case scenario here? If I pop these shields and they decide to attack, that might actually be good. I'm going to do that. I'll let them kill me to pop the shield. Because hopefully now this one will attack and take some damage. There we go. And luckily the Kunoichi just destroys the little espressos because they attack first. And I no longer have poison on them. Excellent. How do I want to do this? I think it's time for Kunoichis to just go wild. Send the bomb squad in. You have 9, I have 7. It's 2 HP, okay. Great. Gonna make Mint make a dancer. The dancer will have to hit the espresso first. Oh, interesting. There's a little path for me. Rid of that one. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I will take the damage at the start, but then I will do the damage and that will get rid of the ninja, but then I die. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh. Get rid of this one, though. Okay. Fortunately, I can't really make anything else. Not at the moment. Move the Kunoichi back. I do want to get rid of this. I don't want things attacking it. I want things attacking the Kunoichi. Great, you see that surround there? This is going to be excellent. All of those 3 will die. Unfortunately, this Kunoichi dies, but these 3 espressos will not last. We need to make our way to break through this back line, try to get some resources, and get us around. And I feel like we're pretty close. So we have nothing to heal, so we should pop a stack. These Macha Vanguards are very annoying. But they require chocolate as a resource, and there's no chocolate in the map, so those are the only 2 left. If we can just, you know, pop the stacks, which we can here, Mint can finish the job. Mint has finished the job. How much can I do to this guy? Okay, I'm at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could do the full 6. It has 9. Can I get 3 damage on it? Can I make a bomb? I can't make a bomb. I cannot get 3 damage on it. That's sad. Still worth doing. Still absolutely worth following that path. Just due to how much damage that actually is. Get rid of this guy. That's there. Is this under threat? Looks like technically no. Make a healer. There you go. Enjoy. I'll start moving a bit closer. Keep those there for now. Don't actually want you to move in. That's it for the turn. This level is interesting in that you can pop off, but your resources are very limited. You have 1 HP. Get out of here. Okay, Mint can make a magical thing happen here. Sure. We'd have to be careful though, because we want to attack this hyperactive roast last. I don't know if I have enough for the winged tea. I don't, but I have enough for a sacrificial. So I'm gonna actually have Genmaicha make it, which sounds surprising. But sometimes you don't want to have her make her special unit. Let's see, 1, 2, 6, yes. Get rid of this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. Now we really need to, like, get here. This is going to change the game once we get into this back line. Problem is we're not currently able to do that. How do we fix that? First, I want to defend my points. Second, I do want to try to sneak a scout in there for next turn. So this has gotten a lot harder than it normally has when I play this level, but we will see what happens. I'm pretty confident, regardless. There's the scout, but moment is upon us, friends. Scout chain time. Okay. This is going to be a pretty big game changer. In that, up a bit, here. They don't have any coffee beans anymore. They'd have to reclaim it. Which means they can't brew anything. Which means now the tides will turn. Well, they can brew because they still have 2 latent, but that's it. So now, this is all that's left. And we have most of the resources on the map, so we're enabled to do a lot more. And so let us make that winged tea. Let us hit this guy. Damage to these 2. Great. Let us have you make standard tea of war. Send that up to provoke this one. Provoke it. Now have 3 attack. This has 3 HP. You will take some damage. It's fine though. Frontline princess. Combat princess. Let's think about if I make a unit here. 1, 2. Okay, yeah. No, it's fine. I don't even need to count it. 1. No matter what. Yeah, no matter what, this guy is dead. Think about the next step here. And then rather than attack this one, because Genmaicha is going to be able to handle it, I want to move towards these tiles. 5, 6. Mine, not yours. So, let us make that Kunoichi. Let's go in, slam down. Start making our way back up. Can we do anything about this? Yes. I actually meant to make a different unit, but that's perfectly fine. Anything we could make here? We can make another ballet tea. Ooh, that's exciting. I can hit this guy. Gotta remember this one doesn't... Oh, we should move our scouts into safety position. But we should try to... think about this. Yes. 5. Nice. You're fine where you are. These ninjas can technically take that tile. There's not much I can really do about that at this point. Yeah, sure, Mint. You can go forward. But now we have every resource tile on the map, which is one of the 2 victory conditions we need. Think about this. My cat has jumped on my chair. Very cute. Have 10. Or mint. Yes. Unfortunately, because it killed itself and Mint's unit didn't kill itself, I don't get the recharge, but I don't need the recharge. Alright, the last unit here, way down here. I would like to kill you with a bumblebee. Haha. There you go. Not the best level 6 I've had, but a pretty good one overall. So they're discussing their strategy here. And, Dragonwell and Mint are still in the war is a fun adventure mentality, and Genmaicha's like, hey, my entire, like, homeland/country is gone now. And so Genmaicha challenges them to see if they can name a coffee regent. Cafe au lait is kind of a very famous one in the lore of the game. Genmaicha now asks, where does she live? They don't actually know. Genmaicha asks, can you name a second one? They don't know. Genmaicha gets upset. And the reason is because she sees an information gap between the Coffee Empire and the Tea Realms. They're fighting the Coffee Empire, but if they don't actually know who the commanders are, where the commanders are, any of that, how do you actually fight successfully? And so Genmaicha makes a warning because her sister, Matcha, fought in the Old War and was one of the only survivors of the Old War among the tea princesses. So Genmaicha wants to get information, reconnaissance, all of that, and convinces the other two, yes, we absolutely should be doing it. Now, we will end here, but we gotta discover new units first, right? So let's see. Sugar is the new resource, so let's just check some sugar out. Because we have the ballet tea, but what's this? The Gorilla Warrior. And this one has 4 move times 2, 2 attack times 2, but that's it. It actually doesn't have anything else, so it's ability-wise, it's kind of... You can overvalue this unit, I feel. You have to be careful with it. It is great for mobility, though. It also costs a lot of resources, right? This is 6 sugar for the most basic sugar unit. This is 7 sugar. So, plan accordingly. Let's try, do we have any blueberry sugar? Let's find out. We do. This is the refined Fusilier. And this unit was actually made by one of the Kickstarter backers. So the way this one works is that it has a different target mode, as you can see here. It shoots only in cardinal directions. But the further away the unit is, the more damage it does, which is kind of backwards if you consider how a gun actually works, but So let's try raspberry sugar. Nope, there is no raspberry sugar. Is there a vanilla sugar? And there is! And I'm excited to show this because I said earlier we might not see Kitsunabe's unit that they designed, but turns out we got far enough to see it. This is the Lapidarian Mystic. It was based on the Hong Pao, sort of really expensive, rich rock tea. It's kind of like an analog to the Fusilier, except it's healing in diagonal directions, and the further away a unit is, the more healing there is. And it's very cute. It's a very cute unit. And we've discovered all the units now. But let's take a quick look at the map of the game now, since things have shifted a bit. So, rock, lapidarian, there you go, Vlad. So this is what the map was after Genmaicha's homeland was conquered, and the fighting in the Expanse. You were fighting at the tip of the river to sort of start pushing forward into Coffee Empire territory. So the map's kind of weird, sort of segregated, sort of chopped up, blocky. And here's the full map as it currently exists. And unfortunately for today, we didn't get to meet every character. We got close. We got through 6 levels of the 25 levels that are available in Sovereignty. 26 now, actually, because of the Halloween update. 26 levels! And I was breezing through these as an experienced player of the game. But, take your time, learn things, read things, have fun with it, make some tea, drink the teas in the game, drink the coffees in the game. Have fun with it. It's on sale now. It's 20% off for the autumn sale. Tell your friends, tell your family. I hope you enjoyed today's stream. I had a really great time. I haven't, played my own game in a very long time because, once you make something, you kind of have that phase after it's done where you're like, I don't want to look at it anymore, because you've been looking at it for so long. But going back to it, yeah, I'm really proud of this little game we made, and I'm very thankful for all the folks who backed us on Kickstarter to help make this game a reality. I hope you enjoyed all of your physical rewards if you picked up any of those. And I can't wait to talk about whatever next projects might be. Who knows when that might be, but something's in the works, I'm sure. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. You can follow us on Twitter at 3halvesgames, on Facebook. There's links below the Twitch stream for our Discord, for everything. And I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving, a safe Thanksgiving, a thankful Thanksgiving, I guess. And thank you so much for watching, and who knows when I'll stream again, but I'll see you next time.